Welcome to CozySideAudio, where every story pulls you deeper. If you like the thrill, the mystery, and the chase, like, share, and subscribe before the next clue disappears.
CozySideAudio presents Just Chatting, My Everyday Life, Kinda. Chapter 1, Morning Routine IRL. The first thing Hina hears every morning isn't her alarm. It's the soft chirp of her cat trying to open the cabinet where she keeps the treats. Susie's small paws scratch insistently at the wooden door, his tail flicking like he's on a mission. The clock on her phone glows 9:47 a.m. She groans into her pillow. 5 more minutes, she mumbles. Susie doesn't care. He jumps onto the bed and sits squarely on her stomach, a fluffy white loaf of silent judgment. Okay, I'm up. Hina pushes herself upright, hair sticking out in every possible direction. Susie meows once, victory declared, and hops off toward the kitchen, tail high. The air in her apartment smells faintly of yesterday's coffee. Her little one-bedroom unit isn't much, barely big enough to fit her desk setup, futon, and a bookshelf she built herself, after watching 3 YouTube tutorials and crying halfway through. But it's home. She pads barefoot across the tatami-patterned mat, still in her oversized sweatshirt that reads, "Loading, please wait." The morning routine begins. Curtains open. Sunlight floods the room. She feeds Susie, sets water to boil, and turns on her playlist called Morning Vibes, fire to lo-fi beats to rise to. Her tiny espresso machine sputters and hums. Hina hums along with it, eyes half closed, breathing in the smell. The first sip of coffee feels like the day officially begins. She picks up her phone and scrolls through her notifications. 1 DM from Kira. Stream later. Mario Party collab, 3 p.m. Another from Ren. Don't forget the patch update today, or you'll desync again, LOL. And a dozen comments from her community Discord. Good morning, Hinapuff. Cat camplers today. Who's ready for chaos? She smiles, already hearing their voices in her head. The chat never really sleeps. But before she logs on, there's the quiet part of her day, the part no one sees. She sits by the window, cradling her coffee, watching the light crawl across the street outside. A delivery truck beeps. Someone downstairs waters their plants. For a few moments, she doesn't have to be Hina TV, the streamer. She's just Hina, a girl with a cat and a cup of coffee, trying to remember if she bought groceries yesterday. By noon, she's showered, eaten toast, burned as usual, and cleaned up enough to make her background look aesthetic for stream. Fairy lights on. Desk dusted. Cat bed strategically placed within camera view. Her dual monitors flicker to life, filling the room with a cool glow. She checks the mirror before she goes live. Her hair falls in messy waves. Good enough. A touch of lip tint, nothing else. She adjusts her mic arm, tests her voice, and clears her throat. Testing. 1, 2. Okay, we're alive. I mean, live. She laughs at herself, clicking Start Stream. The screen fills with her intro animation. Pastel clouds, her avatar waving, soft music playing. Then her face appears. Good morning, everyone. Well, almost noon, she says brightly, sipping from her mug. It's your girl Hina back again with another day of questionable gaming decisions and hopefully fewer technical issues than yesterday. Us. The chat floods in instantly. Chat of the moon. Hi, Hina. Pixel Penguin. Susie Cam when? Phoebe and Bro. We missed you. Hina grins, eyes darting between messages. Susie's sleeping on my desk, being a little loaf, so you might see him pop up later. Also, good news, today we're playing Mario Party with Kira and Ren, which means I'm going to lose spectacularly. The chat explodes with laughing emotes. She spins her chair once, the background twinkling from her fairy lights. Her voice carries that familiar cheerful rhythm, the one she's perfected over years of streaming. Every expression, every laugh timed just right, but still though somehow genuine. For the next hour, her apartment fills with her laughter and the game's chaotic music. Kira's voice echoes through her headset. "Did you just steal my star?" "I didn't mean to," Hina protests between giggles. "You totally did." Ren chimes in with his deep, mock-serious tone. Justice must be served. It's chaos, exactly the kind her viewers love. Hina plays into it, teasing, shrieking, narrating dramatically as if it's the end of the world every time she rolls a 1. The chat is a blur of emojis and inside jokes. Suzy jumps onto the desk midstream, earning a chorus of "cat" in the chat. For 2 hours straight, she's on. Vibrant, quick, unstoppable. When she finally clicks end stream, the screen fades to black, replaced by the outro card. "Thanks for hanging out. See you tomorrow." The silence that follows feels heavy, but not bad, like the quiet after laughter. She exhales, leaning back in her chair. "Good stream," she murmurs to no one, rubbing her eyes. Her voice sounds softer when she's not performing. Suzy meows, curling up in her lap. "Yeah, you did good too," she says, scratching his head. Her phone buzzes. A notification. "Stream summary. Ready." She scrolls absently through the analytics. View count, followers gained, chat activity. It's good, stable, better than last week. But she lingers over one comment from chat she caught earlier. "You always make my day better, Hina." She smiles faintly. It still surprises her, even after all this time, that her little corner of the internet can reach someone out there. By 5 p.m, she's tidied her desk, shut off her lights, and changed into a soft hoodie. The apartment looks different without the monitors glowing, muted, cozy. She opens her balcony door to let in the evening air. The city hums below. Somewhere, someone's frying onions, the smell drifting upward. Hina settles on her futon with the book she's been trying to finish for weeks. A slow boat to Tokyo. Suzy curls beside her, purring quietly. She reads a few pages, then checks her phone again. Old habit. Her Discord pings with memes from her mods. Her timeline fills with clipped highlights from today's chaos. Her fans are laughing, sharing, quoting her jokes. It makes her heart warm. But she also feels that odd duality again. The split between Hina TV, the streamer everyone sees, and just Hina, the girl eating konbini snacks on her bed with her cat. She closes the app. "Tomorrow," she says softly, more to herself than anyone, "I'll try to start earlier." Suzy meows, like he doesn't believe her. The sky outside turns pink, streaked with orange and gold. Her mug sits empty on the sill, a ring of coffee at the bottom. She watches the light fade over the rooftops, the world moving quietly beyond her walls. It's a simple day. Coffee, laughter, chaos, quiet. But it feels whole. Hina smiles, petting Suzy's fur as he sleeps. Tomorrow will be another stream, another chat, another morning routine. And she'll greet them all with the same warm words that always begin her day. "Good morning, Internet. It's me again." Chapter 2. Going live, chaotic energy, Tito besties. Hina starts the day earlier than usual, 9:02 a.m, which, for her, might as well be dawn. The sun hasn't fully cleared the buildings yet, so her apartment glows with that soft, muted light that makes everything feel still. Suzy's already up, sitting by the window, like a tiny sentinel. She pours coffee into her chipped cat-patterned mug and leans against the counter, still yawning. The quiet hum of the fridge and the gentle whir of her PC fans are the only sounds. Her phone buzzes. Ren. Yo, Hina, you up yet? Hina, barely. Coffee loading. Ren. Kira's already in VC. He's threatening to start without you. Hina. Tell him I'm suing for emotional damage. She chuckles to herself. The kind of morning banter that feels like stretching before a run, familiar, grounding. She wipes down her desk, adjusts the plushies on the shelf behind her, because Chat always notices when something's moved, and sets a tiny toy sword in Susie's bed, a running gag from last week's Susie the Warrior stream. When she finally sits down and opens OBS, her reflection flickers in the monitor hair tied loosely, a pastel sweatshirt, a sleepy smile. She hits Go Live. Good morning, Chat. Her voice bursts through the speakers with practiced cheer, like sunlight through curtains. Okay. I know, it's early, but today's special because I'm playing Monster Rumble online with my besties Kira and Ren, and if you've seen us play before, you know this is going to be a mess. The chat scrolls fast. Green tea latte. The chaos trio returns. Kira Loavebot. Protect Kira at all costs. Ren from Boy 999. Ren bout to carry again. Susie camples. Where's Cat? Susie's napping, Hina says with mock seriousness. He's emotionally preparing himself for the yelling that's about to happen. Her Discord call pings. Morning, sleepyhead, Kira's bright voice says through the headset. I've been awake for hours, Hina lies. Ren snorts. You literally sent coffee loading 5 minutes ago. Chat floods with laughing emotes. And just like that, the energy lifts. Hina's voice picks up that natural rhythm, excited, teasing, full of life. It's like a switch flips. They drop into the first match. Kira's shrieking, Ren's calmly narrating strategy like a coach, and Hina's somewhere between trying to help and setting the team on fire. Why are there so many enemies? She yells, spinning her character wildly. Because, Ren replies, you ran into the camp. I thought it was loot. That's a bear, Hina. Still counts as loot. The laughter never stops. Chat spams. Loot bear, Kira can't breathe from laughing, and Hina pretends to rage quit only to rejoin seconds later. Even after hours of this, her energy doesn't fade. She reads chat messages aloud, reacts dramatically, hums background music between fights. Susie hops onto the desk midstream, earning gasps and applause from her viewers. She pauses just to zoom in on him. Ladies and gentlemen, the true MVP has arrived, she says, switching to a high-pitched announcer voice. Mao, Susie adds perfectly on cue. The chat explodes. Susie, supremacy. We stan a star. Halfway through the stream, she and Kira take a hydration break. Hina leans back in her chair, taking a long sip of water while reading the chat messages still flying by. Some are funny. Hina's chaos gives me serotonin. Some are sweet. This trio feels like home. She feels it too, the sense of comfort, the closeness built through a screen. It's strange how voices and usernames can fill a room more than silence ever could. Kira returns first. Hey, Hina, I told my mum about your cooking stream. Oh no, what'd she say? She said you were adorable and need someone to feed you properly. Hina bursts out laughing. She's not wrong. 3.5 hours later, the game's over. Kira's declared Queen of Chaos, and Ren's pretending to file a resignation. Thank you, everyone, for watching this complete disaster, Hina says between giggles. We'll probably do it again next week, assuming Kira forgives me for stealing her loot. Never, Kira replies instantly. See? That's love. She waves at the camera as the stream outro music fades in a gentle synth melody that always makes her feel oddly nostalgic. All right, chat. Be nice to yourselves. Stay hydrated and pet your pets for me. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, maybe with less chaos, but no promises. Stream ended. The room feels instantly smaller once the monitors go dark. The laughter vanishes, leaving only the faint hum of the PC and the city outside. Hina sits in that quiet, her fingers still hovering over the keyboard. She exhales. That was fun, she says softly, like she's convincing herself it's real. Suzy stretches on her lap, a silent little reminder that there's still life beyond the glowing screens. She gets up, stretches her arms, and wanders into the kitchen. It's nearly 4 p.m. now, the part of the day where the sun hits the window just right, scattering gold across her countertop. She heats leftover curry from last night, scrolling absently through her phone while she eats. Clips from the stream are already trending in her community Discord. Someone edited her screaming into a remix. Someone else made fan art of her and Suzy riding a bear. She laughs quietly to herself. The internet's too fast, she mutters. After dinner, she changes into her softest sweater and steps out for a short walk. No makeup, no camera, no pressure. The neighbourhood is calm, old vending machines humming, the scent of fried food drifting from a small izakaya nearby. Her breath fogs faintly in the cooling air. She walks with her hands in her pockets, humming the same outro tune she uses on her streams. As she passes a convenience store, she catches a glimpse of her reflection in the glass, the same girl who's been on camera all day, only quieter now. There's a strange comfort in that. She picks up a canned coffee and a rice ball, the clerk smiling politely. Long day? He asks. Yeah, she says with a small laugh. Something like that. He nods knowingly, and she leaves, sipping her drink as she walks home. When she returns, the apartment feels warm again. Suzy greets her with a soft chirp. She collapses onto her futon, scrolling through messages. Kira's text waits for her. Kira, you were so funny today, LMAO. I miss doing collabs like that. Hina, same. Let's plan another soon. Maybe something chill this time. Kira, there's no such thing as chill with you. Hina smiles, setting her phone down. The night hums quietly around her. There's always another stream tomorrow, another burst of energy waiting to happen. But for now, she just listens to the faint purring beside her, the steady rhythm grounding her in something real. She closes her eyes, the image of chat, scrolling still lingering behind her eyelids like a sea of tiny lights. In the morning, she'll wake up, make coffee, and start all over again. But tonight, Hina lets herself exist in the quiet. No camera, no audience, no performance. Just her, Suzy, and the small comfort of knowing that both versions of herself, somehow, belong to the same day. Chapter 3. Dinner for one. The stream ended hours ago, but her chat window still lingers open, hundreds of messages frozen mid-laughter, little icons and emotes like a party that never truly stops. Hina doesn't close it yet. She likes the afterglow, that strange hum that follows every stream, as if the energy still clings to the air, invisible but warm. Suzy jumps onto her lap and settles down, his fur tickling her knees. Hina absently strokes his head. You were good today, she murmurs. Didn't jump on the desk once during boss fights. Growth. He meows like he understands. Outside, the sun is setting behind the apartment buildings, tinting the sky with lavender and orange. The sound of traffic fades into a quiet hum, mixed with the faint chatter of a TV from next door. She finally pushes herself up from the chair and stretches, bones popping one by one. Her neck cracks audibly and she winces. Ow! That's what 8 hours of gaming gets you, Suzy. Instant chiropractor. The cat blinks slowly in response, unimpressed. In the kitchen, she fills a pot with water and sets it on the stove. The kettle whistles beside it, its shrill pitch somehow cozier in the evening air. She opens a cabinet and pulls out her go-to dinner. A familiar red packet of instant ramen, the brand she's eaten since college. The label's worn, the logo faded. One day, she tells herself, I'll learn to cook actual food. She drops in the noodles, watches them swirl, and leans against the counter. Her phone buzzes again, a notification from her Discord server. Fans are sharing clips from today's chaos stream. She scrolls through the titles. Hina versus the bear she lost. Kira screaming compilation. Feet, Hina's bad aim. Ren, trying to keep his sanity for 3 hours. Impossible. The comments are full of laughter, praise, and gentle teasing. Peachy Bean. I love how she laughs even when she messes up. Ghost Host. Hina streams got me through exams. Susie fan 77. I wish she knew how much her vibes help. Her chest tightens a little, not in a sad way, but in that quiet, humbled way where gratitude almost hurts. She types a quick reply before she can overthink it. You guys are too sweet. I'm glad the chaos brings joy to someone. She adds a heart, hesitates, then puts the phone down. The water's boiling now. The noodles are ready in minutes. She cracks an egg in, stirs it lazily, and carries the bowl to her low table. Susie follows her like a shadow, tail high. Sorry, she says as she sits down. No seafood flavour tonight. She turns on the small TV, but the sound is low, just background noise while she eats. A variety show plays, the laughter track looping endlessly. Hina's focus drifts in and out between the host's voice and the rhythmic slurp of noodles. It's not lonely, exactly, just quiet. The kind of quiet where she can hear the tick of her clock, the occasional soft creak of the building. When she's done, she sits back and scrolls through her messages again. A text from Aya pops up. Aya, you alive or did the bear get you? LOL. Hina. Barely survived. Susie's traumatized. Aya. You free Friday? I want to grab dinner. Hina. Yes, please. Human interaction is rare. Aya sends a laughing emoji. It's been months since they last met in person. Hina thinks about that a lot. How easy it is to feel connected through chat rooms and streams, yet still end up sitting alone with a bowl of ramen at the end of the day. She leans back on her hands and looks up at the ceiling. The shadows of her hanging plants sway gently, cast by the soft glow of her desk lamp. It's peaceful here, even if a bit empty. Later, she props her laptop on the coffee table and replays part of her own stream, not to judge herself, but to remember it. She watches her laughter, her exaggerated reactions, the way she teases Ren. She looks happy, genuinely so. But then the clip ends, and her reflection in the dark screen replaces her smile. She sighs softly. It's weird, seeing myself like that, she mutters to Susie, who's now curled into a perfect loaf beside her. It's still me, but it's like watching a version of me that's louder, funnier, braver. Susie opens one eye as if to say, that's the point. She chuckles. Yeah, I guess it is. The night deepens. The city outside her window hums with faint sounds. Laughter from a group of students walking home, the hiss of a passing bus, a car horn somewhere distant. Hina finishes her tea, rinses her bowl, and wipes the counter clean. Her kitchen is tiny, but she keeps it neat partly for peace of mind. Partly because messy spaces make her feel like her thoughts will spill too. She glances at her planner on the counter. Tomorrow, edit, clip, stream, prep groceries. Simple things, but they keep her grounded. Before bed, she sits cross-legged on her futon with her journal, a plain brown notebook she's filled with half-thoughts and doodles. She writes, Stream went well today. The chat was funny. I laughed a lot. But afterward, it felt too quiet again. Maybe I just got used to having voices fill the room. I like them, the people who show up every day. But I also want to feel okay when it's just me. She closes the notebook, slipping it under her pillow. Susie curls up near her feet. The last thing she hears before sleep is the faint hum of her computer fans, still running like a lullaby from another life. She dreams of laughter and light her virtual world, but also of sitting at a cafe, laughing with Aya, sunlight in her hair. The dream blurs, warm and ordinary, until it fades entirely. In the morning, the world will be loud again. The stream, the chat, the chaos. But tonight, for just a few hours, it's enough. Dinner for one. Quiet. Still whole. Chapter 4. Karaoke stream. I can't sing, but I try. It started with a throwaway tweet. What if I did a karaoke stream tonight? LOL. Pilar's lower expectations. Within 5 minutes, the replies poured in. Memes, GIFs, and an alarming number of "do it" comments. By the time Hina finished her evening tea, she was already setting up her mic and cueing her playlist. Her desk glowed soft pink from the LED strips, a kind of cozy chaos. Empty mugs lined the far edge like little trophies. Her cat Susie lounged on the corner of the bed, tail flicking in the rhythm of Hina's background music. "All right, chat," she said, pressing the Go Live button. "I don't know why I'm doing this, but karaoke stream time!" Instantly, the chat flooded in. "Chat, she's Liv." Chat, scuffed. "Karaoke arc, let's go." Chat, lowering expectations as instructed. She adjusted her mic. "Okay, first song, Plastic Love, classic. Don't expect vocals, expect vibes." The music started. She was slightly off-key, but the confidence was infectious. Between verses, she danced in her chair, hair swaying as her laughter broke through the melody. Chat, Hina vocals. Chat, this is actually kinda good. Chat, I can feel the shower concert energy. Halfway through the song, she cracked up mid-lyric. "Wait! Oh no, my voice cracked! Delete that from existence!" She snorted, covering her face. "I can't believe this is live. Oh my god!" But the laughter only made Chat love it more. After Plastic Love came a string of impulsive picks. Butterfly from Digimon, a horribly offbeat rendition of Garenge, and an oddly soulful A Cruel Angel's Thesis. 2 hours passed like 10 minutes. Her voice grew hoarse, her energy softening from chaotic to tender. The playlist dimmed to slower, quieter tracks. Songs she'd never sung for anyone before. "Okay," she said between sips of water. "I'll do one last one before my voice gives out." Her tone shifted slightly, gentler, almost uncertain. "She picked your Shika's Just a Sunny Day for You." The melody carried something bittersweet. Her voice trembled on the high notes but didn't break. For once, she wasn't trying to be funny or on. She just sang. When it ended, she exhaled into silence. Chat. This one hit diff. Chat. You okay, Hina? Chat. Beautiful. _ She smiled softly. Heh, I'm fine. Just realised I sing better when I'm not trying to perform, you know? Maybe I should have done that from the start. After she ended the stream, her room fell still. No chat, no alerts, just the low hum of her PC fans. She leaned back, closing her eyes. For the first time in a while, the quiet felt heavy. Her laugh echoed faintly in her memory, the one her viewers loved, the one she turned on so easily. But what was her real voice like? Not the one filtered through the mic, layered over lo-fi beats, softened by EQ. She opened her audio software, staring at the blinking cursor of a blank track. Just one take, she whispered, for me. She pressed record. Her voice came out low, unsteady, but honest. No background noise, no fancy setup. just her singing softly, late at night like she used to before streaming. When the final note faded, she sat there staring at the waveform. Her finger hovered over the upload button. A full minute passed. Then she smiled faintly and closed the window. "Not yet," she murmured, glancing over at Susie. "Maybe someday." Susie yawned, unimpressed. Yeah, I know. I'll stick to gaming." She laughed to herself, climbing into bed as the city hummed quietly outside her window. Somewhere between her screen self and her real self, she was still figuring it out. One song, one stream, one quiet night at a time. Chapter 5. Offline mode activated. The first thing Hina noticed when she woke up wasn't the sunlight filtering through her curtains. It was the silence. No Discord pings. No stream alerts. No chats, scrolling like a waterfall of emotes. Just the sound of Susie snoring softly at the foot of her bed and the faint rumble of the city beyond her tiny apartment window. For the first time in weeks, she wasn't live. No schedule to keep, no sponsors, no notifications demanding attention. Her phone sat face down on her desk, the screen dark. She'd flipped it that way last night after a spontaneous karaoke stream that ran far too late, and for once she hadn't checked it again before sleeping. She stretched under the covers, groaning. "Okay, Hina day, no internet. Probably." Susie meowed like she didn't believe her. "Fine," Hina muttered, sliding out of bed. "No streaming, but I am checking Twitter." She opened the app while brushing her teeth. A few fans had clipped her karaoke moments, and one had already gone semi-viral. Her cracked high note from Butterfly captioned, "When you think you're nailing it, but you're not." "Rude," she said through toothpaste, half laughing, "but accurate." After rinsing, she set her phone on silent and declared it, "Offline mode activated." She made her morning coffee the slow way, grinding beans, waiting for the kettle to boil, pouring in gentle spirals. The smell filled her apartment like a sigh. For a while, she just sat by the window with her mug, legs tucked beneath her, watching people walk by far below. Some in suits, some walking dogs, one carrying a guitar case. She wondered, not for the first time, what it must feel like to go to a job you could leave at the end of the day. Streaming didn't have off hours. Even when she wasn't live, she was thinking about being live. But today, she'd try. Around noon, she put on a sundress, tied her hair into a loose braid, and caught the subway to meet Aya. Aya was her oldest friend, the one person who still called her by her real name, Hinako, without a hint of irony. They'd gone to the same middle school, drifted apart for a bit during college, and reconnected when Aya found out this girl she used to know was now a semi-famous streamer. Hina spotted her right away at the cafe, a tidy girl with a bob haircut and a work tote sipping an iced latte like she owned the place. "Look who actually came outside," Aya said, grinning as Hina approached. "Miracles do happen." Hina slid into the seat across from her. "I figured sunlight might be good for me before I start evolving into a desk chair." Aya laughed. "You say that like it hasn't already happened." Hina feigned offense. "Excuse me, I have mobility." "Uh-huh. Do you even own real pants anymore?" Hina looked down at her dress. "Define real." They both burst out laughing, and for a while, it felt like nothing had changed. Like they were still two girls who used to share bentos at lunch and talk about manga. But after the laughter faded, Aya leaned back, studying her. "You doing okay though? Like, really okay?" Hina stirred her coffee. "Define okay." Aya raised an eyebrow. "I'm fine," Hina said after a beat. "Just tired, I guess. Streaming's fun, but it's kind of like existing on display. Even when I'm home, I feel like I'm still performing." Aya nodded slowly. "That makes sense." You've built a whole world around being online. Must be weird to step outside of it. Yeah, Hina said quietly. Sometimes I wonder if people like me, or just the version of me that talks in memes and yells at video games. Aya smiled gently. Both, probably. You've always been that person, even before streaming. You just made it louder. Hina laughed, but the truth of it stung a little. They talked about everything after that. Aya's new apartment, her annoying co-workers, a cooking class she joined on weekends. Hina listened, trying not to feel the small ache of envy for how normal it all sounded. Schedules, co-workers, commutes. So, what about you? Aya asked eventually. Still single? Wow, going straight for the jugular. Aya snorted. Hey, I gotta check in. My job as your self-appointed life supervisor. No, I'm not seeing anyone, Hina said, drumming her fingers on the table. Not really sure how that would work, honestly. I barely have time to sleep, let alone date. Maybe that's part of the problem, Aya said. You've built this entire connection with people through screens. But maybe you're forgetting the kind that actually looks you in the eye. Hina blinked at her. That sounded way deeper than I meant it to, Aya added quickly. No, you're right, Hina said softly. I think about that sometimes. Like, I share so much of my life online that sometimes I forget to actually live it. They fell into a comfortable silence after that, the hum of the cafe filling in the spaces between their thoughts. When Hina got home later that afternoon, her apartment felt smaller somehow, like she'd stepped from the real world back into a digital one. She set her tote down, greeted Suzy with a pat, and flopped onto the couch. Her phone buzzed twice, Discord messages from collab partners, a notification about a trending clip, but she ignored them for now. Instead, she opened her journal, the one she almost never touched. Offline day, #1, she wrote. Things I learned. The world is bigger than my room. Coffee tastes better when it's not next to a keyboard. Aya is still brutally honest. I think I miss having someone who knows me without the overlay. She tapped her pen thoughtfully, then added, maybe I'll do this more often. She spent the rest of the evening quietly, folding laundry, watering the little succulents on her windowsill, letting a playlist of old anime songs drift through the room. The city outside glowed orange in the setting sun. At one point, she caught her reflection in the window, hair loose, face bare, eyes a little tired but peaceful. This version of me, she whispered, doesn't need to perform. Suzy jumped into her lap, curling up instantly. Yeah, Hina said, smiling faintly. Maybe tomorrow we go live again. But for now... She reached for the remote and queued up a cozy movie. Let's just exist. As the credits rolled, she didn't check her notifications once. And for the first time in a long while, she felt fully logged out and completely present. Chapter 6. Q&A stream. It gets kind of deep. The chat started scrolling before she even said hello. Chat, she's back. Chat, offline arc over. Chat, streamer touched grass, confirmed. Hina laughed, tugging at the sleeves of her oversized hoodie. Okay. I was gone for 2 days. Not an eternity, you dramatic little creatures. Suzy meowed from her chair. See? Even Suzy says chill. He missed you guys, though. Didn't stop staring at my monitor like it owed him money. Chat. Suzy Cam, when? Chat. He's the real star. Chat. Hi, Suzy. Hina sipped from her mug. Anyway, today's stream is super low-key. I thought we'd do a condo while I reorganize my desktop icons because it's, horrifying. She turned on screen share for comedic effect. Her desktop looked like a digital landfill. Chat. What is that? Chat. 42 screenshots of what? Chat. I see a folder. literally called a don't open. That folder is none of your business, she said, mock serious. We do not speak of don't open. It is sacred ground. The chat exploded with emojis and guesses. Hina giggled until she snorted. Okay. Let's actually do the kandar before my reputation dies. She scrolled through the chat feed, picking questions on the fly. All right. What's your favourite game of all time? Easy. Stardew Valley. Because I can't farm in real life, but I can romance pixelated people while pretending I'm good at fishing. Chat, relatable AF. Chat, you literally are the Stardew protagonist. Chat, chaotic farming queen. Next question. How long have you been streaming? She leaned back, thoughtful. 4 years now? Wow, that's actually kind of scary to say out loud. 4 years of me yelling at my screen for a living. Chat, best decision you ever made, TBH. Chat, you were my comfort streamer all through college. Hina smiled softly. That means a lot, really. Sometimes it's easy to forget that you guys are real people on the other side of all this. For a second, the room went quiet. The background lo-fi track filled the space gently. Then another message popped up. Chat, do you ever get lonely? Her cursor froze. It wasn't the kind of question she could dodge with a joke. Lonely? She repeated, almost to herself. Yeah, sometimes. She set her mug down, fingers tracing the rim. Streaming's funny that way. You're surrounded by people all the time. Chat's moving, DMs are pinging, collabs, fan art. But it's not the same as someone sitting across from you, you know? She paused, thinking of Aya's words from the cafe. Maybe you're forgetting the kind that actually looks you in the eye. I love this, she continued softly. I really do. You guys make me laugh every day. But sometimes, when I turn off the stream, it gets really quiet. Like the whole world goes still, and I realise I haven't talked to anyone face to face all day. For a moment, she worried she'd said too much, but the chat didn't troll or turn awkward. It slowed, messages trickling in like small waves. Chat, that's so real. Chat, thanks for being honest. Chat, you make us feel less alone too. Hina, chat, we're here for you. Her throat tightened unexpectedly. She looked at the screen. Hundreds of names she didn't really know, and yet she kind of did. You guys are really sweet, she said, voice soft. I didn't mean to make it heavy. I just want to be honest about stuff sometimes. I think we all pretend we're fine online, but maybe we don't have to. She let out a small laugh. Okay, before I cry on stream and become a meme, next question. Chat, too late. Chat, you're our comfort streamer. Don't apologise. Chat, let the tears flow. Hina wiped the corner of her eye, half laughing. Nope, not happening. This mascara costs money. The chat filled with heart emojis and cat stickers. The heaviness dissolved into laughter again, but something had shifted. She felt lighter, like she'd taken off a heavy hoodie she didn't realise she'd been wearing. Later that night, after she ended the stream, the silence didn't sting quite as much. Her room was lit only by her monitor's afterglow, and the chat replay scrolled idly on screen. People saying goodnight, telling her to rest well, thanking her for the stream. She leaned forward, rereading one comment she'd almost missed near the end. You don't have to be funny all the time. We like you even when you're quiet. Hina exhaled, smiling faintly. Even when I'm quiet, huh? She opened her notes app and typed, stream idea, honest mode. Just chatting, no filters, maybe some cozy music, just me. Susie jumped onto her desk, brushing against her arm. Hey, bud, she whispered, scratching his chin. Think I'm getting the hang of this whole being a human thing? He meowed like he doubted it. Yeah, she said, yawning. Me too. She climbed into bed, the faint hum of her PC cooling in the background. For once, she didn't feel like she had to fill the silence. The quiet wasn't empty tonight. It was peaceful. Chapter 7. Maintenance Day. It was the kind of morning that smelled like laundry detergent and possibility. Hina stretched her arms high above her head, the sleeves of her sweatshirt swallowing her hands. Sunlight spilled through her thin curtains, landing on the small pile of clean but not yet folded clothes on the chair. Suzy was curled up on top of them, snoring like a tiny lawnmower. Maintenance day, she announced to no one in particular, her voice still raspy from sleep. Time to fix my life, or at least my desk. Suzy blinked, unimpressed. Right, step 1, caffeine. She shuffled to the kitchen in mismatched socks and brewed a cup of instant coffee that tasted vaguely like burnt dreams. But it was warm, and that was enough. She sipped it while scrolling through her to-do list on her phone. Laundry, for real this time. Clean PC fans. Backup files. Vacuum. Maybe eat something green. She glanced at the list, sighed dramatically, then added another item. Complain about everything while doing it. Perfect, she said. Realistic goals. Her day began with laundry. She dumped a heap of clothes into the washer, humming a lo-fi tune as she poured in detergent. A bubble overflowed and plopped onto her sock. Oh no, she gasped. The floor monster's getting soap. Suzy watched from the hallway, judging her with the quiet authority of a creature who never did chores. While waiting for the wash cycle, she turned her attention to her PC setup. Okay, my beloved streaming machine, she said, crouching beside it. You've served me well. Now let's get the dust dinosaurs out of you. She unscrewed the side panel carefully, revealing a shocking amount of dust. Oh my God! How are you even still alive? This is ancient ruins level. She turned on the compressed air can, accidentally blowing a cloud of grey fluff directly into her face. Ah, gross. I'm inhaling 2019? Coughing and laughing, she waved her hands through the air while Suzy bolted under the bed. Okay. Bad plan. Science experiment over. By midday, the washer beeped cheerfully, announcing its triumph. She spent the next half hour folding clothes with a mix of discipline and chaos, half neatly stacked, half rolled into vibes-only bundles. She found an old sweatshirt from her first year streaming, the one she wore during her 100-follower celebration. Wow, she murmured. Feels like a lifetime ago. She held it up, smiling softly. It was faded now, the fabric thin from overuse, but the memory warmed her chest. She folded it carefully and placed it at the top of the drawer. The afternoon sunlight shifted, painting the apartment in gold. Hina made herself lunch, instant ramen topped with a fried egg and a sprinkle of seaweed flakes. She set the bowl beside her keyboard, streaming a random playlist of city pop as she ate. Suzy jumped onto the table, pawing at the chopsticks. Hey, this isn't for you, she said, nudging him gently. You've got kibble, gourmet edition. He meowed loudly, unconvinced. After eating, she started organising her digital life, deleting old screenshots, renaming folders, backing up stream clips. The rhythmic clicks of the mouse were oddly soothing. Each deleted file felt like a small breath of clarity. When she stumbled upon a folder labelled Random Stuff LOL, curiosity got the best of her. Inside were dozens of video clips, stream highlights, funny mistakes, little moments she'd forgotten about. She clicked one. On screen, a younger version of her laughed so hard she fell out of her chair. Chat was in chaos. The clip ended abruptly, cutting to her current reflection in the monitor, still smiling. She whispered, You were really having fun, huh? Suzy brushed against her ankle as if to agree. By evening, she'd done nearly everything on her list, except eat something green, which she decided could be symbolic. She lit a small candle near her desk and flopped onto her bed, surrounded by the quiet hum of the evening. Her hair was damp from a quick shower, her clothes soft from the dryer. Everything smelled faintly of citrus and clean fabric. "Not bad, maintenance day," she said to the ceiling. "You fixed more than I expected." Her phone buzzed. A text from Aya. "Aya, survived pajama mode again." Hina, barely. "I think my PC aged backwards 2 years. Aya, proud of you. You should rest." Hina, "I might build a pillow fort instead." Aya sent a laughing emoji. 10 minutes later, Hina was stacking pillows and blankets into a makeshift fort beside her bed. She crawled aside with her tablet, dim fairy lights glowing around her like a secret cave. Susie followed her in, curling up on a blanket corner. She opened an e-book she'd been halfway through for months and started reading, but after a few pages her eyes drifted shut. The quiet of the night settled around her like soft music. No notifications, no performance, just warmth. As she drifted towards sleep, she mumbled, "Good night, chat. Oh, wait," and laughed quietly to herself. For once, she didn't need to be on. This was still her life, unfiltered, unstreamed, and exactly enough. Chapter 8, Cooking, Stream, Disaster, Feet, Smoke, Alarm. The title card flashes on screen. Hina Tree's cooking, pray for me. The chat explodes instantly. "No way she's cooking. Call the fire department now. I give it 10 minutes before the smoke alarm wins." Hina laughs, already in over her head. She's standing in her tiny kitchen camera, balanced precariously on a stack of instant ramen boxes, microphone dangling off a cupboard handle, apron tied in a crooked bow. Okay, before anyone says anything, yes, I can cook. Sometimes. Maybe. Cap. This is why you eat delivery, isn't it? Listen, she continues, pointing dramatically at the camera with a wooden spoon. Today's dish is homemade omeris. That's right. Eggs, rice, ketchup. Basic, right? Even I can't mess this up. A pause. A beat of silence. Then, the rice cooker beeps in the background, immediately followed by a puff of steam that makes her jump. Okay, maybe it's already messing with me. The stream is chaos from the first 10 minutes. She drops an egg, yelps, and tries to catch it mid-air with a spatula, which only results in a half-smeared yolk trail down her fridge. Hina, no! Ooh! The egg sacrificed itself for content? Clip it, clip it, clip it. Shut up, she laughs breathlessly, grabbing a paper towel. 5-second rule. Okay, maybe not. The chat spams, emotes laughing faces, fire emojis, someone even pastes AST art of a burning house. She plays it up for the camera, leaning dramatically on the counter. This is fine, everything's fine, I am calm, I am composed. The wooden spoon slides out of her hand and clatters onto the floor. Composed? She's fighting for her life. By the 30-minute mark, Hina has rice sizzling in a pan, eggs beating unevenly in a bowl, and ketchup hearts drawn badly on a napkin for presentation practice. Her bangs are sticking to her forehead. There's a mysterious smear of soy sauce on her cheek. Okay, chat. The trick to omeris is confidence. If you believe in yourself, it will... The rice pops violently, a fleck of oil landing on her wrist. She jerks back. Hot, hot, hot. Why is it fighting me? The rice is rebelling. That's karma for dropping the egg. Call Gordon Ramsay. He needs to see this. She doubles over laughing, tears prickling the corners of her eyes. Stop! My abs already hurt from last time. Somewhere between flipping the egg and talking about how real chefs use feeling, not measurements, the inevitable happens. A wisp of smoke curls from the pan. Then another. Then beep, beep, beep. Oh my God! She waves a towel frantically under the smoke detector. No, it's not on fire. It's fine, I swear. It's just enthusiastic steam. Chat loses its collective mind. She did it. We got smoke alarm, any percent, speed run. The prophecy is fulfilled. Between laughter and panic, she grabs the pan and sets it on the balcony rail to cool. The egg is partially intact. Charred edges, gooey center, but technically still edible. Hina props the camera closer and, dead serious, says, "Presentation time." She drizzles ketchup on top a big wobbly heart, then looks directly into the lens. 5-star cuisine. Michelin. Call me. You mean the kitchen? That ketchup heart looks like it's melting. 10/10 would eat anyway. She takes a bite, chews slowly. The face she makes is indescribable, somewhere between horror and acceptance. It's not bad, she lies. The chaos stretches for another 20 minutes, her trying to make another portion for redemption, failing worse, then resorting to just chatting with her viewers while eating the least burnt half of the omeris. They talk about their own cooking fails, about food delivery apps, about favourite snacks for late night streams. It's messy, real and warm, like the digital equivalent of sitting on the kitchen floor with friends after a long day. Honestly, this was peak content. Never do it again, but also, please do it again. Cooking arc unlocked. She ends the stream with a full belly laugh. Next time, I'm ordering takeout on stream. That's still technically a cooking show, right? Yes, chef. Takeout speedrun incoming. Smoke alarm saga. Part 2 when? The stream ending screen fades in a doodle of a very proud cartoon Hina holding a frying pan. Hours later, the clip titled Hina vs. The Smoke Alarm Full Battle hits trending. Hundreds of thousands of views. Fans remix it with sound effects, auto-tune her screams, add subtitles in 4 languages. She scrolls through the comments from bed, still smiling. Somewhere beneath the laughter and chaos, there's a quiet pulse of something softer gratitude, maybe. They weren't just laughing at her. They were laughing with her. And somehow, that made her little world feel less lonely. She turns off her phone, rolls onto her side, and murmurs to the dark, "Maybe I'll actually learn how to cook next time." From the desk, Susie blinks once in agreement. Then she laughs into her pillow, the sound small and genuine, the kind that never makes it to stream. Chapter 9, The Meetup. The convention hall hums like a living thing, the low buzz of hundreds of voices, the rhythmic click of controllers, and the faint scent of instant noodles and vinyl merch. Hina adjusts her hoodie nervously as she weaves through the crowd, badge swinging against her chest. She's been to conventions before, but this one feels different. Because this time she isn't here as a fan. She's here as Hina Stream. Her phone vibrates. A message pops up from Ren. "Ren, we're at the indie booth row. Look for the guy in the frog hoodie. You can't miss me." She smiles despite her nerves. "Can't miss you, huh?" She murmurs, typing back a simple, "On my way. Please don't jump scare me." When she spots them, Ren with his unmistakable frog green hoodie and Kira with pink dyed tips peeking from under her cap, it's like stepping into a strange mirror. She knows their voices, their laughter, the way they banter, but in person, it's different. "Hina!" Ren shouts, throwing his arms up. Kira laughs, the sound softer than her usual chaotic mic energy. "You actually exist?" Hina giggles, hugging them both in a slightly awkward too-tight squeeze. Yeah, and so do you. You're taller than your webcam, said Ren. Catfished by perspective, he says solemnly. They all laugh the kind of laughter that's both familiar and unfamiliar at once. They grab lunch in the convention's food court, surrounded by cosplayers and stream fans doing impromptu meetups. Hina picks at a cup of yakisoba while Ren explains how exhausting his travel stream arc was. Everyone thinks it's just sightseeing, he says, but man, setting up gear in the rain? That's a workout. Kira nods, sipping bubble tea. Same with art streams. People think I'm just chilling, but when chat goes quiet, I panic. I'm like, did I mess up? Did they leave? Hina smiles faintly. Yeah, I get that. There's a pause, a rare silence among three people who usually fill air with chatter. The kind of silence that says, we all know what it's like. Later, they find themselves sitting outside the convention centre, under a concrete awning as dusk settles. The noise fades, replaced by the buzz of cicadas and the rustle of paper bags from the merch stalls. Ren scrolls through his phone, showing them a meme about stream burnout. This one hits too close to home, he mutters. Kira groans. No, seriously. The other day, I almost went live just because I felt guilty for resting. Hina looks down at her sneakers. I used to think that too. Like, if I wasn't online, I didn't exist. They all nod quietly. For a moment, they're not entertainers, not avatars or usernames, just people sitting on the curb, sharing cheap vending machine coffee, talking about how tired they are of pretending they're not tired. As the streetlights flicker on, Kira leans her head against Hina's shoulder. You know, it's kind of wild seeing you talk without a chat delay. Hina laughs softly. I keep waiting for someone to type real. After I say something, Ren chuckles, pulling his hood up. This feels weirdly real, huh? Like we've been friends for years, but also just met. Yeah, Hina says, eyes tracing the glow of the neon signs. It's nice, though, like meeting the real version of the people you already love. They sit there until the sky deepens into indigo, watching other creators pass by, all of them smiling for cameras, holding up signs, performing bits. And for once, Hina doesn't feel the urge to perform. She's just here. No overlays, no alerts, no filters. Just her and her friends. That night, back in her hotel room, Hina kicks off her shoes and collapses onto the bed. The quiet hum of the air conditioner fills the silence. Her phone buzzes a new group message from Ren and Kira. Kira, same time next year? Ren, we'll drag Hina out again, even if we have to bribe her with bubble tea. Hina, deal. She smiles at the screen, thumbs hovering before she adds one more message. You guys are even better offline. She locks her phone and stares at the ceiling for a while, the day replaying in her mind the laughter, the awkward hugs, the little moments in between. It hits her then. They all spend so much time trying to connect through glowing screens that they sometimes forget what connection actually feels like. Warmth, presence, a real voice without reverb. Hina closes her eyes and exhales, a quiet smile tugging at her lips. For once, she doesn't need to stream to feel seen. Chapter 10. Rainy day, thoughts. The rain begins sometime after dawn. Soft at first, like a whisper against the window pane. Hina lies in bed listening to it, cocooned under her blanket. The rhythmic patter syncing with her slow breathing. Susie's tail flicks lazily near her feet. No alarms, no schedule, no going live notification flashing in her brain. Just the world outside, washed clean and quiet. She stretches, rubbing sleep from her eyes, and sits up. Her hair's a mess, her sweatshirt's too big. She looks at the window and murmurs, perfect weather for not existing. Susie meows as if in agreement. She brews her morning coffee, dark roast, 2 sugars, no milk, and leans against the counter while the rain gathers momentum. Drops race each other down the glass, tracing crooked little rivers. Her phone buzzes with a message from Ren. Ren! Yo you, streaming today? Hina, nah, taking a chill day, rainy vibes. Ren, mood, hydrate or dihydrate? She chuckles softly, sets the phone face down and just stands there for a moment. The apartment smells like wet air and instant noodles from last night's dinner. It's not glamorous, but it's hers. By late morning, she's wrapped in her coat, umbrella in hand, stepping outside into the drizzle. The city is quieter today, a calm kind of grey. Her sneakers splash through shallow puddles as she walks down the familiar streets near her apartment. Passing the bakery on the corner, she waves at the elderly owner, who nods back warmly. She's never told him what she does for a living. He probably thinks she works from home or freelances. Maybe that's close enough to the truth. At the crosswalk, she pauses to let a couple rush past, hands clasped under one umbrella, laughing as they dodge puddles. She watches them go, smiling faintly. I used to want that, she thinks. Then I wanted followers instead. The thought surprises her, quiet but honest. She ends up at a tiny cafe she's passed 100 times but never entered. The sign above the door reads, Cafe Parasol in fading paint. Inside, it's all soft lighting and rain-speckled windows, the kind of place where the music is low and the world slows down. A bell chimes when she steps in. Welcome, says a barista with kind eyes. Sit wherever you like. She picks a table by the window, unwraps her scarf and orders a matcha latte. Steam curls from the cup when it arrives, tracing ghostly patterns in the air. She opens her sketchbook, the one she bought months ago and barely touched, and starts doodling. Not for content, not for merch ideas. Just because. Her hand moves freely, drawing simple things. A cat stretching, a cup of coffee, a girl in a hoodie sitting under an umbrella. It's messy and imperfect, but it feels right. Outside, the rain softens to a drizzle. A group of students passes by, huddled under one umbrella, laughing. Hina smiles. She flips to a new page and writes at the top. Stream ideas, but chill. Below it, she jots. Rainy day, study stream. Chat doodle time. Unfiltered talk, what makes us happy? Then, after a pause, she adds, no makeup stream. Her pen hesitates, hovering over the page. That idea alone makes her heart skip a beat. A stream, without the character, without the bright energy or carefully curated lighting. Just her. Would chat like that? Would they still stay? She stares out the window, lost in the thought. Rain slides slowly down the glass, blurring the reflections of the street. For the first time in a long while, she isn't sure whether she's scared or excited by the idea of being seen completely. Hours pass. The cafe empties, then fills again. The barista refills her cup once, then quietly leaves a small cookie beside it, on the house. She thanks him, smiling softly. When she finally steps outside, the air feels cooler, fresh and sweet, like a reset button for the world. Her reflection glimmers faintly in the puddle near the curb. Hood pulled up, umbrella tilted, eyes soft but alive. She thinks about who she used to be before the follower counts, and overlays the awkward, shy girl who started streaming in a dark room with a cheap mic and a dream of making friends. Maybe she hasn't lost her. Maybe she's still there beneath all the noise. By the time she gets home, the sky has turned from grey to a pale, sleepy pink. She kicks off her shoes, dries Susie's wet paws. Somehow he snuck outside again, and flops onto the couch. Her mind feels quieter than it has in weeks. No constant stream of notifications, no need to plan content or check analytics, just her life. She pulls out her sketchbook again, flipping to a blank page. In big, messy letters, she writes, "Less pretending, more being." Then she doodles a little heart beside it. Susie curls up against her leg, purring softly, and Hina whispers, "Yeah, I think I'm figuring it out." The rain starts again, gentle as a lullaby, and, for once, she doesn't feel like she's missing anything by not being online. Because right now, here, in the quiet rhythm of raindrops, she finally feels seen. Chapter 11. Collab Stream, the reunion arc. The familiar ping of incoming alerts greets Hina as she settles into her chair. Her webcam lights cast a soft glow across her apartment, bouncing off the small stack of notebooks and a steaming mug of tea. The chat scrolls rapidly, bursting with excitement. "The collab is happening! I've been waiting for this day! Streamers assemble!" Hina grins, tugging her hoodie tighter. "All right, friends, it's been way too long. Let's see if we can survive this without any disasters this time." She clicks the button to go live, the familiar hum of streaming equipment filling the room. Then, one by one, the other faces appear in the call. Ren, Kira, and a few more of their usual collab group. Their avatars flicker briefly before stabilizing, and the room explodes into digital chaos. "Hina, finally! You look tired but cute, as always. Did anyone tell you you're streaming in pajamas again?" Hina laughs. Yes, I know. Comfort is the most important thing, okay?" Ren rolls his eyes. "You've been in pajamas for 3 years straight. Comfort is a lifestyle now." The first hour is pure chaos. They attempt to play a cooperative party game, but every attempt at teamwork collapses into slapstick disaster. Hina trips over virtual obstacles, while Ren misreads instructions, and Kira can't stop laughing at the growing pile of mistakes. "Guys, this is going terribly!" Hina squeals as she falls into a pixelated pit. "Perfection! This is why I subbed. Send this to the meme archives." She giggles, wiping tears from her eyes. Okay, I admit it. Maybe I do make this too funny for my own good." Despite the chaos, something feels different about this stream. Hina notices it in the way she's watching her friends' faces, their small smiles, the way they gesture at the camera, the brief sighs of frustration between jokes. She's not just performing for the chat anymore. She's sharing a space with people who understand her rhythm, her energy, and her quirks. During a brief break, Hina leans back in her chair and sips tea. "Hey," she says quietly, almost to herself. "It's really nice being here with all of you. Like, really here." Ren raises an eyebrow. "You mean beyond the digital chaos?" "Yeah," she admits, cheeks warm. "I've spent so much time entertaining, reacting, and trying to keep things funny that I sometimes forget what it feels like to just be around friends." Kira grins. "We get it. Believe me, we've all been there. Burnout is real, but today it doesn't feel like work, huh?" Hina shakes her head. "Nope, it feels like home." They resume the game, and the laughter picks up again. This time, however, Hina feels calmer, more grounded. She notices little things she used to miss. Ren's eye twitches when he's frustrated, Kira's exaggerated sighs when she fails a jump, the way everyone instinctively covers for one another when mistakes happen. Her chat floods with hearts and happy faces. "She's glowing," one comment reads. Another says, "This is pure joy. Look at her smile." Hina smiles genuinely, not because she's entertaining, but because she's sharing. She's not hiding behind her persona or rushing to fill silences. The laughter is natural, the messes are real, and it's perfect. Toward the end of the stream, they sit in quiet for a few minutes, just talking about games, fan messages, their own lives outside streaming. Hina finds herself telling a small story about the last rainy day she spent sketching in a cafe, her voice soft but steady. Her friends listen, nodding, chiming in occasionally. It's the kind of conversation that feels light but significant, like a shared secret. She realizes that she's finally learning to balance the two sides of herself, the entertainer and the real Hina beneath the camera. This is the best collab ever. You guys look like a family. Mood, stream, but warm and wholesome. Hina laughs softly. Thanks, chat. But the real magic? The people on the other side of the call. They're the real MVPs. The stream ends with a flurry of waves and goodbyes. Hina leans back, feeling lighter than she has in weeks. The apartment is quiet, Suzy curled against her side. The hum of the PC fades, leaving only the soft night sounds of the city outside. She whispers to herself, a small smile tugging at her lips. Maybe this is what I've been missing, not just the stream, but the connection. Her phone buzzes. A new message from Ren. Ren, same chaos, same time next week? Hina types back immediately, her fingers dancing across the screen. Absolutely. She sets the phone down, tucking her hoodie around her shoulders, and lets herself sink into the quiet. The day has been messy, loud, hilarious, and utterly perfect. Because sometimes, she realizes, being with the right people makes the noise worth it. Chapter 12. Day off, full heart. The sun had barely touched the horizon when Hina opened her eyes, blinking against the soft morning light spilling through the curtains. Today, she reminded herself there would be no streaming, no chats, no notifications. Today was for her. She stretched languidly, feeling Suzy twitch at her side. Good morning, little disaster, she whispered, scratching behind his ears. He purred, a soft rumble that filled the quiet apartment. Breakfast was simple. Toast with jam and a perfectly brewed cup of coffee. She sat by the window, watching the street below wake slowly, a delivery bike wobbling past, a jogger dodging puddles, the smell of rain lingering faintly from last night. Hina sipped, letting the warmth spread through her, feeling the rare luxury of a morning with no obligations. She had no agenda, no alarms, no deadlines, no chat scrolling, just the city waking, the soft hum of her apartment, and the steady presence of Suzy on her lap. By mid-morning, she had dressed in comfortable clothes, oversized hoodie, soft leggings, sneakers, and stepped out into the park nearby. The air smelled faintly of wet earth, the grass glistening from a recent drizzle. Pigeons scattered as she walked along the winding paths, and she smiled at their skittish little hops. Hina had a small bag with her, a journal, a pen, and a bag of seeds she'd bought last week. She settled on a bench and began tossing crumbs and seeds to the birds, watching them flutter and peck, their movements sharp but delicate. You guys are way easier to please than chat, she murmured, laughing quietly. After a while, she pulled out her journal, flipping to a blank page. The pen hovered over the paper. She wrote slowly, deliberately, tracing her thoughts. Streaming is wonderful, but it's not everything. Connection isn't just views or bits or followers. Connection is here, now. These pigeons, Suzy, Aya, Ren, Kira, the quiet moments no one sees. The words felt heavier than expected, but comforting. She wrote until her hand ached and her stomach rumbled, letting the pen follow her thoughts freely. When she returned home, she decided on a bath, a long, indulgent soak with lavender bubbles. Suzy jumped onto the bath mat, watching her with solemn, judgmental eyes, occasionally sniffing the steam. I know, she said softly. You're judging my relaxation skills. Go ahead, judge away. After the bath, she wrapped herself in a towel and headed to her bed, curling up with Suzy nestled against her side. She pulled out her sketchbook and began doodling the park from earlier. The winding paths, the pigeons, the way sunlight filtered through the wet leaves. Every stroke of the pencil felt grounding, tangible, and hers alone. No chat to impress, no camera angle to consider, just the paper, the pencil, and her heartbeat. Evening came slowly. She opened the window, letting the scent of rain-dampened asphalt drift in. She brewed another cup of tea and settled on the couch, curling up with Suzy. Outside, the city lights flickered on, tiny warm beacons against the deepening night. She pulled out her journal again, reflecting on the day. Today, I didn't perform. I didn't entertain. I didn't react for anyone but me. And it felt full of quiet, full of small moments, full of heart. She looked down at Suzy, who had fallen asleep on her lap, tail twitching in dreams. "You're my background music," she whispered, stroking his fur. Before bed, she set her phone aside and sat by her window for a while longer, watching the city hum in soft patterns of life. She felt content in a way she rarely did during streams, unfiltered, undistracted, entirely present. Hina smiled softly, murmuring to herself, "Maybe this is what I've been missing. The days off, the quiet, the life that's mine." She closed her eyes, the hum of the city and the purr of her cat lulling her to sleep. For once, she didn't need notifications to feel connected. She was full, not of views, not of applause, but of life itself. And that was enough. Chapter 13. Just chatting. Thank you. The soft hum of her computer greeted Hina like an old friend as she sat before her streaming setup. 1 year. One full, chaotic, amazing year of going live, of sharing her life, her laughs, her mistakes, and her little victories with a growing community that had come to feel like family. She adjusted the webcam, checking that the lighting caught the warmth in her small apartment without washing her out. Suzy stretched across her desk, blinking lazily at the camera, as if to remind her that he too would be an honoured guest of the day. Her fingers hovered over the Go Live button, heart thumping in a mixture of excitement and nerves. Today wasn't just any stream. It was the 1-year anniversary of her channel, a milestone she hadn't thought she'd reach when she first clicked start streaming that early morning, speaking into a barely working mic, unsure anyone would even watch. She took a deep breath, inhaling the faint aroma of her morning coffee, a habit she'd built over the months, something grounding. "Okay, Hina," she whispered to herself. "Let's do this." When she clicked the button, her usual alert sounds chimed. The chat erupted almost instantly. "Hina, happy anniversary!" 1 year, we made it. Tears already. Hina grinned, waving at the camera. "Hi, wow, I can't believe it. 1 year. I don't even know what to say. Thank you for being here, for sticking with me, for, well, just being amazing." She scrolled through the initial flood of messages, laughing softly at the gifts, the hearts, the memes, celebrating her many mishaps, the Maurice disaster, the karaoke stream, the smoke alarm saga. Each one carried a memory, a connection, a reminder that this wasn't just entertainment. It was relationship. "Remember when you cried over losing in that collab game? Your laugh saved me during finals week. You're literally my favourite human online." Hina's chest warmed, her eyes misted. "Oh my gosh, you all... Really? You really mean that?" The chat exploded with more hearts and emojis, more affirmations. She laughed, wiping at the corner of her eye. I can't believe it. 1 year and you guys still put up with me." She leaned back in her chair, taking a sip of her tea, letting the moment sink in. She thought about the shy girl she'd been when she first started, speaking into a mic alone in a dim room, feeling unsure and invisible. And now the girl behind the screen had a family. Hundreds of people, maybe thousands, who tuned in not just for the games, the cooking, or the silly challenges, but because they liked her. She shared stories with them throughout the stream, The behind-the-scenes moments they didn't see, the quiet afternoons sketching in a cafe, the lonely nights spent staring at her reflection, wondering if anyone truly cared. And she talked about growth, about realizing that being genuine was far more rewarding than any perfectly timed joke or flawless gameplay. "I've learned to love my little apartment," she said, showing the camera the neat pile of notes and doodles beside her monitor. "To appreciate quiet mornings and rainy walks and Susie, apparently, who thinks he's in charge of my schedule." The chat erupted with laughter. Someone posted a photo of Susie from months ago, squinting at the camera in judgment, and Hina giggled so hard she nearly spilled her tea. Hours passed in a blur of conversation, memories, and shared laughter. Hina played little clips from the past streams, commenting with a mix of embarrassment and pride. She read messages from fans, some long, heartfelt letters describing how her streams had brightened dark days, helped them feel less alone, or even inspired them to start streaming themselves. One message made her pause. "I was so lonely when I first found your channel. You laughed and I laughed, and for the first time in months, I felt like someone saw me. Thank you." Hina's hands trembled slightly as she scrolled through the rest of the message. She swallowed hard, a lump forming in her throat. Oh, wow. I don't even know what to say. Thank you. Thank you for trusting me, for sharing your time, for letting me into your lives." Her voice cracked, soft but genuine, and the chat flooded with support. "Hina, you're crying. We're crying with you. It's okay. We love you." And she did. She loved them, every single one, not in a performative way, but with the quiet, deep warmth of connection that made the long hours and occasional stress worth it. She laughed again, wiping away tears, because these were the people she had grown with, people who knew her laugh, her mistakes, her little quirks, and still decided to stay. The stream slowed toward the end. Hina's eyes lingered on the chat, now filled with soft hearts, kind words, and memories shared between her and her community. She leaned into the microphone, voice soft and tender. "You've given me so much this year, more than I can even put into words. You've laughed with me, cried with me, and just been here. And that's more than I ever expected when I pressed go live that first time. You've become my little family, and I am so grateful for each and every one of you." She paused, letting the words float in the space between them and the glowing screen. Susie curled up against her arm, purring softly, as if affirming every sentiment she'd just shared. "Thank you for being real with us, Hina. We love you, Hina." Her lips curled into a small, unguarded smile. I love you too. All of you. Really." Finally, she ended the stream, the familiar offline screen flickering to life. But she didn't move. She let the camera stay on, the soft glow illuminating her face, her messy hair, her hoodie, and Susie perched beside her. She just breathed. A quiet moment, free from overlays, alerts, or audience expectation. Just Hina. Real Hina. The girl who had started this journey a year ago, timid and uncertain, now sitting in the glow of connection and love she had helped build. She whispered to the empty apartment, her voice barely above the hum of her equipment. "Thank you for letting me be me." For a long while, she just sat there, smiling softly, listening to Susie purr, watching the soft shadows move across her room. Outside, the city carried on. But inside, in the quiet aftermath of laughter, tears, and shared stories, Hina felt full of gratitude, full of joy, full of heart. And for the first time in a long time, she didn't feel the need to be anyone else. She was enough. She reached for her journal, scribbling a final note for the day. 1 year, 1 family, One, Hina, and this is only the beginning. The camera softly caught the glow of her smile as she leaned back, Susie draped over her shoulder like a little guardian. She let herself linger in the warmth of the moment, letting the world outside wait. Because here, now, everything was perfect. And she was home.
Thanks for listening. Stay cozy, and I'll see you in the next story.